the dry months coming now, so people know that it's going to get worse, this drought, and that is why they're flocking to camps like this one at the Dove.
Well, that's Ben Brown. Meanwhile, Oxfam's Chief Executive, Barbara Stocking, is in our Central London studio for us this morning. You're appealing for funds. Explain why.
Because the situation is really dire, and it's not just in the camps as we've just seen. Right across the region, the 10 million people, most of them are pastoralists. So what they're doing at the moment is trekking with what animals they've got left to try and find pasture and water. And we really need to help them now. They're already in very grave difficulty. And we can do that. We can do it in two ways. First of all, is make sure they do get food to eat. But that isn't just about food aid. That is giving people money in hand so they can buy food, because that helps keep the markets going. The other thing, particularly for the pastoralists, is water. And what we're doing is really cleaning up boreholes, in some cases actually trucking water, because it's really important that actually if people can keep their animals going, that is their livelihood. They can sell those animals, they can get the money for food. So there's a lot we can do even now to avert the worst of this crisis.
Some people may have not exactly compassion fatigue, but feel, well, they've heard some of this before over the past 20 years or so.
Yes, but first of all, it's very clear that this drought, it's not just that this is the worst drought, it's actually, we keep getting now repeated droughts, particularly, almost certainly because of climate change. That means that people don't have the time to recover from a bad year to get either their crops back or their animals again. Of course, it's actually basically fundamentally due to poverty, and also the lack of investment that has been for over years and years into small producers, whether they're people in agriculture with fields or pastoralists. Now, 2 years ago in the food price crisis, the world said, we understand we have to help small producers, and that has simply not happened. Only 7% of total aid goes on any form of agriculture. Governments themselves in the region also need to invest in agriculture and these small pastoralist producers, but pastoralists in particular have been really marginalised. So it's not as if we don't know what to do, we just absolutely have to get the world behind it to make the difference to these poor people. Maybe a final point is social safety nets. We're very used to social security systems in the UK. That is an idea that's just beginning to take hold in these countries in Africa. Fortunately, in Ethiopia, we've got a social security system that actually is getting money to aid people. That would be another 8 million people, probably many of whom would be added to these numbers if they hadn't had that. So again, we know what to do. Some of it's done. We both need to deal with saving lives now.